Today's lesson is Marvelous Melbourne, a season-by-season guide to this super city. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike.
And I'm Roger, and today we're going to continue talking about Melbourne during the 4 seasons of the year. Now, right now it's September, so if you head down to Australia, it's going to be spring there, and we talked about what you can see and do in Melbourne during this time of year. You can check out flowers there, and you can also have a picnic outdoors. And there was a train station there that had been turned into a restaurant, so that's going to be pretty cool, too. We also talked about what you can do during the summer there.
Yes, we did indeed. We've gone around some botanical gardens, seen some wonderful flowers, eaten at an old train station. We went to the beach, and then we had some wonderful Italian gelato. Now the seasons are changing, though. We're heading into the colder months of the year, according to our article. Spring and summer have sadly passed us by, so now it's time for fall, which, of course, remember, in Australia would be in the months of March to May, so kind of opposite to us. Let's get into our article and find out what's going to happen there in fall and what we should be checking out.
Fall, March to May. Explore. The pleasant temperatures and beautiful autumn leaves make fall the perfect season for hitting the trails. Dandenong Ranges National Park is a favorite fall choice among local hikers. Just an hour's drive from the city's center, it offers walkers a range of trails with varying degrees of difficulty. Eat. Loosen your pants and get ready to tickle your taste buds at Melbourne's Food and Wine Festival. Every March, top chefs from all over the world show off their skills at this 10-day event.
大家好，第一部分介绍动词 loosen， 它的意思是使松开、解开，也可以是放松的意思。例如 Brett loosened the lid of the jar. Brett 松开了罐子的瓶盖。或者 Sam tried to loosen the knot in the rope. Sam 试图松开绳子上的结。接着看到动詞 tickle， 表示使开心、使高兴，也可以是使发痒的意思。例如 The puppy's playful behavior tickled everyone who was watching. 小狗的调皮行为让所有观看的人都很开心。或是 Peggy likes to tickle her little brother to make him laugh. Peggy 喜欢搔痒她弟弟来逗他笑。再来看到名词 chef， 它的意思是厨师或是主厨。例如 After finishing the delicious meal, the guests sent their compliments to the chef. 享用完美味的佳肴后，客人们纷纷对主厨表达赞美。也可以说 The cookbook written by the famous chef became a bestseller. 该著名主厨所写的食谱已成为了畅销书。
Okay, so if you go to Melbourne in March and you stay there through May, it's going to be fall there. Fall is also called autumn. And again, that's the season between the summer and the winter. So let's talk about what you can do in Melbourne. First, you can explore the place. You can go check out different things in Melbourne. The pleasant temperatures and beautiful autumn leaves make fall the perfect season for hitting the trails. So again, these are ideal conditions for enjoying the great outdoors. We've got pleasant temperatures. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. And then, of course, we've got the beautiful autumn leaves. So we've got trees in Australia that change color in the fall. They're beautiful. You can take pictures of them and post them online. People will be impressed. They'll press the like button for your pictures. And again, it's the perfect season for going hiking. Now, if you hit something, you could actually strike something. But when we go someplace, we hit the road. We hit the road. Hey, let's hit the road and start driving down to Kaohsiung. And in this particular case, you're hitting the trails. You're going hiking.
All right. Where are we going hiking? Well, it says Dandenong Ranges National Park is a favorite fall choice among local hikers. So that's the place to go, Dandenong Ranges National Park. Just an hour's drive from the city center, it offers walkers a range of trails with varying degrees of difficulty. All right. Since it's an hour's drive, it might be A little hard to get there if you haven't rented a car, but you might also be able to find a bus or something that can take you out there. But if you do get out to Dandenong Ranges, you'll find a range of trails, a wide variety of trails with varying degrees of difficulty. So something really challenging if you want a super workout, and something very gentle if maybe you're not looking for that, you're just looking for a nice walk in the woods. They have a little bit of everything for everybody. That sounds pretty good. So after a long walk and maybe a long drive to and from Dandenong Ranges National Park, now it's time for food. So let's move on to our eat section. Where are we going today?
Well, we're going to go to the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival.
Sounds good.
Here's what you can do there. You can loosen your pants and get ready to tickle your taste buds again at this Food and Wine Festival. Now, if you loosen something, you make it so it isn't so tight, and you're going to loosen your pants or maybe loosen your trousers. I assume they'll call
belt.
Your belt. You could also say that as well. That's because you're going to eat food and you're going to get fat, and your pants or your shorts, your trousers are going to feel a little bit tight. So you need to loosen your pants, you need to loosen your belt, and go ahead and stuff yourself silly. Let yourself go. You're on vacation, and you're going to tickle your taste buds. That's a phrase we use to talk about enjoying food. Taste buds, of course, are the little things on your tongue that detect taste. And if you tickle your taste buds, that means you basically enjoy eating.
Exactly right. Normally, tickle is to touch someone gently in order to make them laugh or feel uncomfortable, right? Someone might stick their fingers into your sides and start moving them around, going, doo-doo-doo-doo. And then you go, ha, stop it. Don't touch me there. It makes me laugh. It makes me uncomfortable. It's kind of annoying. That is to tickle. And yes, as taste buds, as Roger explained, are those things in your tongue that allow you to know salty from sweet, from sour, from bitter, that kind of idea. But yeah, strangely, when we say this will tickle your taste buds, we're basically saying this will taste good. So you can eat delicious food and maybe also try unique foods, original foods, foods you've never had before, that kind of idea as well, with tickling your taste buds at this wonderful Food and Wine Festival. It says every March, top chefs from all over the world show off their skills at this 10-day event. Wow, so it stretches over a week and a half, and they'll have all types of food, from casual food to great wine. They'll probably have some fancy food. Maybe you'll even be able to try some of the famous dishes from famous restaurants from other parts of the world, because some of the top chefs from around the world will be there. And a chef is someone who is a professional cook. In other words, they've done a lot of training and they make food at a very high level and very high quality. If it's someone in a fast food restaurant just flipping burgers and putting French fries through a machine, that might be a cook. But if it's someone who knows how to make a lot of things from scratch, if they can make bread and then they use the bread to make the hamburger, and the hamburger is made from the top quality beef, then that burger wasn't made by a cook. That burger might have been made by a chef, and it will cost you 1,000 NT instead of like 100 NT or something like that too. So if you're paying a lot for your food, hopefully it was made by a chef, someone who is very skilled and highly trained at cooking. And that sounds like a pretty good event. For 10 days, you're definitely going to need to have some pretty loose pants, I think, if you're going to be attending every single one of those days. But I'm sure it's an event you can probably drop in on at any time. Sounds like a good way to wrap up the fall. So let's look into winter now. June to August is winter time. Let's take a break, listen to the article, and find out what to do in Melbourne during the coldest month of the year.
Winter, June to August. Explore. Winter in Melbourne is chilly and wet. In other words, it's the best time to stay indoors and experience the city's cultural side. Check out the exhibitions at the Australian Centre for Contemporary Art, or catch a show at Arts Centre Melbourne, Australia's largest performance venue. Eat. Wrap up and visit Melbourne's winter night market to enjoy satisfying food from around the world. Think cheesy pasta, filling soups, and steaming cups of hot chocolate.
第二部分介绍名词 exhibition， 表示展览会，也可以是展示或是显示的意思。我们可以说 There is a special modern art exhibition at the museum. 该博物馆里有一场现代艺术特展。又或者说 The science fair featured an exhibition of student projects. 该科学展览会展示了学生的设计。我们继续看到名词 pasta， 指的是意大利面食。举例来说 Peter ordered pasta with pesto. Peter 点了青酱意大利面。又或者说 Chris feels like eating pasta for dinner tonight. Chris 今晚想吃意大利面。
Okay, so we're still in Melbourne, and we're going to be in Melbourne during the winter. And of course, some people might think, hey, why would you travel during the winter? It's going to be cold, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yeah, maybe you could travel to Japan or Korea in the winter because you want to go skiing or something. But there are good reasons to go to Australia in the winter. Of course, it's summer here from June to August, but down under, it's going to be winter there. So here's what you can do to explore Melbourne during the winter, during the cold months. Winter in Melbourne is chilly and wet. So you should prepare some rain clothing, maybe bring your umbrella and a raincoat, and also bring some extra warm clothing because it's going to be chilly, which means kind of cold, and also it's wet there. In other words, or to express it in a different way, it's the best time to stay indoors and experience the city's cultural side. So remember, you can go to Melbourne in the summer and enjoy the outdoors like the botanical gardens, but in this particular case, you're going to stay indoors and enjoy the cultural facilities of the city, its cultural side, which would be museums and things like that.
Sounds pretty good. Check out the exhibitions at the Australian Centre for Contemporary Art or catch a show at Arts Centre Melbourne, Australia's largest performance venue. So yeah, lots of culture there. If you want gentle culture, they have paintings. If you want something more active, they have performances. These exhibitions is what you will see at the Art Museum. That will be a collection of paintings put on for public display and public enjoyment. That's basically what an exhibition is. It might be organized around a certain theme. They might have a temporary exhibition, like if you go to the Gugong or the History Museum here in Taipei, they might have for a month wonderful works from the British Museum or the story of Da Vinci's early years, and they have a collection of paintings and sculptures by such and such an artist. Or it can just also be the general things that they have on normal display. If you see the normal exhibition at the National Palace Museum, it's filled with treasures from ancient Chinese history or something like that. That's part of the stuff that is on display for people to enjoy. Or you can see performances at the Arts Centre Melbourne. It's Australia's largest performance venue, and a venue is a location where people go for a certain reason. It could be a shopping venue, like a department store or a shopping mall, an entertainment venue, like a movie theater, a plays, or a concert hall for music, or it could be a sports venue, like a baseball stadium or a basketball arena or something like that. But it's basically a place to go, and this one is big. It's really big. It's the largest performance venue in Australia. All right, food time.
Yep, it's time to eat. So, of course, you've checked out the cultural facilities there in Melbourne, and you're going to have quite an appetite.
I have watched so much ballet, I'm super hungry.
Yeah, especially Australians doing ballet. It's going to make you very exhausted watching it, and it's going to make you very hungry. So here's what you can do to eat. To stuff yourself silly, wrap up and visit Melbourne's winter night market to enjoy satisfying food from around the world. So this is probably an outdoor market, so you need to wrap up. You could also say to bundle up, just to wear some warm clothing. Don't wear shorts and a t-shirt. You're going to freeze that way. So yes, wear some warm clothing, a sweater and maybe a coat over your sweater, and a scarf, of course, and a hat. And you're going to go outdoors and visit the winter night market in Melbourne, and you're going to enjoy satisfying food from around the world. Now, remember, Australia is similar to Canada and the United States, where they have lots of immigrants moving there all the time, and of course, they bring their great food with them. So if you're in Australia, you're going to be able to enjoy lots of food from different parts of the world. Chinese food, African food, Italian food, you name it, they'll have it.
Very, very interesting. And also weird. I mean, it would be weird weird for me to be at a winter market, but there's no Christmas connection. Because, of course, Christmas is in the middle of summer, but still you'd have that Christmas feeling. It sounds like a lot of those European outdoor Christmas markets, right? Like they have in Germany and other places. But there wouldn't be any Christmas feeling or Christmas music. That would be kind of unusual.
Maybe they'll play that music anyway,
Maybe
just
they
for
do.
fun. Yeah.
Maybe they have. Anyways, think cheesy pasta. So here we're describing the food. They're going to have certain kinds of food, and then I give you some examples. So I'm telling you what to think. This is what to imagine. This is the kind of thing that will be on offer. Think cheesy pasta, filling soups, and steaming cups of hot chocolate. Definitely good cold weather food. You have the filling soup. That might be kind of a thick, rich soup, hearty broth of some kind. Steaming cups of hot chocolate. In other words, the steam coming off showing the temperature of it. And, of course, some cheesy pasta, macaroni and cheese or something like that. Macaroni being a type of pasta, which is basically noodles made out of flour and salt and water in the Italian style. So when we talk about pasta, we're talking about all these different types of foods, but of course they come in many different shapes and sizes. You have longer spaghetti and fettuccine. You have smaller things like the ones that shaped like an ear, or the ones that are shaped like a little bow tie or a butterfly, penne, or of course the short, thick noodles, sort of round, that have a hollow space in the middle. These are all types of pastas. So when we basically talk about Italian food, especially the noodles that are made traditionally with almost every meal, that is what we're talking about there. So, sounds pretty good. All right, that's all the time we have for winter, but we do have a little bit to read, so let's check that out, and then we'll be back to wrap things up.
In short, Melbourne is marvelous all year round. So whether you prefer tulips and ice cream or art galleries and fine dining, Melbourne has what you're looking for.
第三部分看到片语 in short， 它表示总之或是简而言之。我们可以说 In short, we should have the presentation completed within the next few weeks. 总之，我们应该在接下来几个星期把简报完成。也可以说 In short, we'll need to work hard to meet our sales goals this quarter. 总而言之，我们需要努力以达成这季的销售目标。最后看到名词 gallery， 它的意思是展览馆或是画廊。例如 The gallery contains some of the most famous works of art in the world. 该艺廊有一些世界上最知名的艺术品。或是 We plan to go to the art gallery this weekend and check out some paintings. 我们计划这个周末去画廊看一些画作。
Okay, so again, we've traveled in Melbourne during the entire year. I don't know if all of us have that kind of free time, so of course you'll probably have to pick and choose which season you go visit in.
Or just go 4 times.
Yeah, I don't think I would go there in the winter. I hate chilly and wet weather. We get plenty of that here in Taipei. I think I'd rather go either in the spring or the autumn.
Okay,
Summer's probably going to be too hot, but of course, if somebody gave me a free ticket to go there in the winter, I would happily go and check the place out. But again, we've talked about a lot of stuff, so we need to summarize. So in short, to summarize, Melbourne is marvelous all year round. And I'm sure a resident in Melbourne could tell you that. Yes, come any time of the year. You'll have a great time here. I can imagine that's true because Australians are supposedly fairly laid back and relaxed people. They're probably a lot of fun to hang out with. So yeah, you could go down there at any time of the year. It's marvelous, Melbourne, all year round.
It does sound pretty marvelous. So, whether you prefer tulips and ice cream or art galleries and fine dining, Melbourne has what you're looking for. So there you go. They have all sorts of stuff. If you like tulips, if you like the flowers, the botanical garden, they have that. We also mentioned the hiking at Dandenong Ranges National Park. They have delicious food like ice cream. Actually, it was gelato, wasn't it? Not ice cream that was made by Italian immigrants. That was fantastic. Or they have the art galleries, the performance spaces, and great food or fine dining. I mean, you could say fine dining just as great food, but generally, when we say fine dining, we mean high class or high quality food, expensive food. Think Michelin stars and really nice restaurants with cloth napkins prawns and stuff like that, made by well-trained chefs, using probably some of the freshest ingredients from Melbourne or the area around it. No matter what you want, basically, Melbourne has what you're looking for. We haven't even mentioned sports, and I've noticed that Melbourne has the Australian Grand Prix, the Australian Open, the big tennis tournament is also there, and of course cricket and other sports like that. It's a bit of a sports town too, so that's something else you might want to check out when you're planning when to go and what to do.
And that's all we have to say for today, but Hanny would like to add a thing or two to what we've said right now.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny， 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第二部分提供了墨尔本冬天的旅游指南。那有一句他写到，建议我们到澳洲当代艺术中心来看展览。好，那么 check out 在这边是当及物用，用来只说看一看啊，瞧一瞧，去查看了解什么什么的情况。那这边我们顺便补充一下片语 check out 的其他常见用法。好，第一个 check out 可以当及物用，来指检验、检查、核实、调查。假设朋友的车子一直发出奇怪的声音，那问题也拖很久了，也许你可以对他说 You really need to have a mechanic check the car out。 你真的需要请修车师傅检查看看这台车出了什么问题了。好，那第二个我们可以用 check out 当及物用来指登记借阅，像是在图书馆登记借阅。例如 She checked out a couple of books from the library。 她从图书馆借了几本书。那第三个 check out 可以当不及物用来指结账退房啊，办理退房手续等等。那么 check out 之后还可以接 of 加名词去表达退房离开某地，像如果是 check out of the hotel 就是指办理退房离开饭店。好，另外文中它用到单字 exhibition， 它可以指展览、展览会，或者是有展示、显示的意思。那它的相关词性是 exhibit。 我们来学它的字首字根。首先看到字根 habit 或者是 hibit， 这一类字根有居住 live、保持 keep、拥有 have 的意思。那很多带有这一类字根的字呢，都是有那种居住的意思，像 habitat 它就是指栖息地啊，动植物居住生长的地方。好，那我们看到在 exhibit 这个字当中，它的字首 ex 表示向外，字根 hibit 表示拥有。那同学们可以试着联想，你把拥有的东西对外展示，对外秀出你所拥有的，这样应该可以想到 exhibit 这个动词它有展现、显示或是陈列的意思。那这个字它也可以当名词来指展览、展示品或陈列品。好，我们顺便补充两个有这一类字根的单字。第一个是 cohabit。好，它的字首 co 是来自 com， 表示一起。那 com 碰到 h 开头或者是母音开头的字根，它就拼成了 co。然后字根 habit 表示居住，那把两个部分组合在一起，从字面上就会有那种一起居住的意思。那 cohabit 就是同居。第二个补充的是 prohibit， 它的字首 pro 表示在点点点之前， hibit 表示保持或是握住，它就有那种 hold 的意思。那在前方握着禁止标志不让人通行，我们用这样的画面去联想到 prohibit， 它有禁止、阻止的意思。好，那以上今天重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Loosen. After the long flight, Miguel stretched to loosen his stiff muscles. Tickle. We were tickled by the idea of going to Lauren's party. Chef. The restaurant's head chef prepared a delicious meal for the guests. Exhibition. The science exhibition featured interesting displays to attract children. Venue. Let's arrive at the concert venue early to make sure that we get good seats. Pasta. My dinner last night was a simple dish of pasta with tomato sauce. Gallery. Visitors strolled through the gallery to admire the vibrant colors of the artwork.
Discussion Starter starts now!
It's time now for our discussion starter, and the question is, based on the article, during which of the 4 seasons would you most like to visit Melbourne?
I'd say based on the article, I would probably choose to visit there during... I guess I'd go with the summer because it sounds like a pretty interesting place to be. The gelato sounds great. I've never been to an Australian beach, but that is such a big part of the culture. And it would also be a nice way to get away from the rain and the cold of Taipei for a few weeks. I think maybe late December or early January holiday in Australia might be just what the doctor ordered. How about you?
Well, if I did have to go to Australia and Melbourne, I already said what time I'd like to go, but maybe I would actually try to go there in the winter.
Oh,
there
okay.
is something to be said about being in a cold place because it makes being indoors that much more comfortable. The coffee tastes better that way, the hot chocolate, the food, etc. So maybe going during the winter wouldn't be so bad after all.
Not a bad idea. And fewer tourists and probably cheaper flights, too.
True.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Mike.
I am Roger. See you next time.